We often don't hear so much about Real Madrid's academy, and it feels like they don't produce many stars, especially when compared to Barcelona, but don't be deceived by all that. La Fábrica has actually produced some really great players through the years. Guys like Raúl, Iker Casillas and Dani Carvajal all came from the famous academy and went on to have amazing careers at the club. But there are more players who should have had opportunities at the club just like these guys. But they were completely ignored for one reason or another. You see, because Real Madrid loves stacking their squad with superstar players, or Galácticos as they like to call them, they sometimes miss out on academy graduates who could have turned into superstars. Today, we'll look at a few of those players. These are 7 overlooked talents from Real Madrid's academy. We'll start with Achraf Hakimi. It is public knowledge that the reigning African Footballer of the Year graduated from the Real Madrid academy. The defender, who was born in the Spanish capital, joined La Fábrica at the age of 8 and tried to fight his way into the first team, but he just was never able to establish himself as a permanent member of the senior team. He was sent out on a 2-year loan deal to Dortmund when he was just 19, and immediately after that, he was sold to Inter Milan, so it's safe to say that Real Madrid didn't really give him a chance. Right now, Hakimi is arguably the best right-back in the world, and he could really have been dominating that flank for Real Madrid the way he's doing for PSG. The Spanish giants went out to get Trent in the summer, but one could argue that Hakimi is a better right-back than the Englishman right now and would have been more impactful for them, but he was overlooked when he was young. Another world-class player who came up from the Real Madrid academy but was overlooked is Juan Mata. He moved to Real Madrid in 2003 and he was brilliant for the youth side. He hoped that would be enough to help him break into the first team, but the club just didn't seem to have plans for him, so he moved to join Valencia at the age of 19 and he absolutely blew up there. While playing for Valencia, Mata was so good that he was called up to represent Spain in the 2010 World Cup, which of course they won. In a squad dominated largely by Barcelona and Real Madrid, having a 22-year-old Valencia player was actually a bit of a big deal. He would then move to Chelsea in 2011, where he helped them win their first ever UEFA Champions League in just his first season at the club. He even memorably assisted the all-important equaliser in the final against Bayern Munich. Mata was a brilliant, versatile and very creative player who deserved to have been given more time at Real Madrid. If they gave Mata a chance, they probably would not have had to spend over £60 million on James Rodriguez in 2014. Now, there are a few other Real Madrid Academy graduates who ended up at Chelsea. Do you know who we're talking about here? Tell us in the comments. Let's see who knows their football. While you're there, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Let's now talk about a very recent one, Alvaro Rodriguez. He might not be the biggest star yet, but the 21-year-old is one player we believe Madrid should have given more opportunities. At 6'4", he's always a massive threat in the air and knows just how to get into good positions in the box. He has helped Real Madrid on a couple occasions, like when he scored in the derby back in 2023, but having been sold to Elche in the summer, he turned around to hurt them by scoring the goal which ensured that Real Madrid did not walk away with maximum points from that game. Of course, there isn't much regret for Real Madrid with this one, considering they have Mbappe right now, but Rodriguez is a target man you can throw on from off the bench and would make some serious impact. You look at Real Madrid this season and you can see they missed that a little. Speaking of strikers with that first name, Alvaro Morata was also overlooked by Real Madrid, and this one was very interesting. Why? Well, you see, Morata joined Real Madrid's academy as a teenager and slowly worked his way up to the first team, but he just wasn't given too many opportunities. Eventually, the club thought it best to sell him off to Juventus for €20 million when he was 22 years old. Did they regret it? You bet they did. See, Morata helped Juventus knock Real Madrid out of the Champions League semi-final in 2015 with his goal, and it surely did not feel good for the Spaniards seeing their own academy product dunk on them like that. So, in 2016, Real Madrid, now convinced about Morata's quality, went and bought him back for €30 million. You see, if they just didn't overlook him when he was still their player, they would not have wasted €10 million there. This is very similar to what's happening to Nico Paz right now. Despite the promise he showed in a Real Madrid shirt, they overlooked him, selling him to Como and going out to sign other young midfielders with similar profiles like Arda Güler. After 1 year in Italy, they could have brought him back, but they refused to as they weren't convinced just yet. but it's now looking like the Argentina international will be heading back to Spain, as Real Madrid now seem convinced and want him back. Of course, Morata is one of the La Fábrica products who ended up at Chelsea, but there are two more. One of them is Saul. The midfielder joined La Fábrica at the age of 11, but just 2 years later, Real Madrid were already done with him, and he moved to neighbouring rivals Atletico Madrid, where he would go on to establish himself as a top midfielder. Saul is a technical and versatile player, and we believe he's one who could have done a good job for Real Madrid if he was given the chance. And yes, Madrid have had better midfielders through the years, we know that, but it's always just a great feeling when an academy graduate excels at the club. Well, he's now excelling in a completely different continent, playing for Flamengo. Now, this next one will come as a surprise to a lot of folks, because we're pretty sure not many know that Emiliano Buendia was ever at Real Madrid. But well, he was way back in 2009. Buendia joined the Real Madrid academy when he was just 12 years old, but he was given no chance at all. After just 1 year at La Fábrica, he moved to Getafe, which was where his career really kicked off. The Argentine midfielder was surely overlooked by Real Madrid. He perhaps would have been a very valuable squad player over the years if he was given a chance, you know, sort of like Brahim Diaz currently is. Well, Real Madrid's loss is Aston Villa's gain, as they're surely enjoying him so much right now. Now, the last Real Madrid academy graduate who ended up at Chelsea on this list is none other than Marcos Alonso. He joined Madrid when he was just 12 years old and was there for 8 years, but he never really broke into the first team. He then left the club and moved to England to join Bolton Wanderers in 2010, then Italy to join Fiorentina in 2013, before returning to England with Sunderland and then Chelsea. Alonso is a very impactful high-flying left-back who could definitely have done a great job for Real Madrid, especially in his prime. Considering they play Fran Garcia, Ferland Mendy and sometimes Camavinga in that position, we're pretty certain that they could have done with Marcos Alonso there. But we're sure Real Madrid fans don't have any love for him in their hearts anymore after he went and played for their eternal rivals Barcelona. Right now though, he's at Celta Vigo and was part of that team that defeated Real Madrid 2-0. Anyway, which of these players would you say Real Madrid really regret letting go of? Also, are there more Real Madrid academy graduates you believe were overlooked by the club? How are they doing right now? Tell us what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye. The world's biggest tournament is coming, and the official FIFA World Cup 26 Tri-Under competition ball is here at the Goal 90 shop. Designed for the game's biggest stage, it's built for precision, speed and control. Right now, you can make it yours with 30% off plus free shipping. Don't just watch the World Cup, own a piece of it. Visit goal90.shop today and order now.